All right, gentlemen, we've made way too many mistakes this week, okay? Football's a simple game, but you keep making these silly mistakes, we're not gonna win. So let's get out there and let's have a good practice, huh?
Lead! Lead! Lead up! Lead! Lead! Hands up! Lead! Lead! Lead up! Lead! Lead! Lead up! Lead! Lead! Lead up! Lead up! Lead! Lead! Lead up!
Well, fellas, there's not a whole lot I can say about that performance today. We have high aspirations as a team. If we want to get there, we got to raise our game. Because if we repeat what I saw out there today at our next practice, it is going to be a very long season. We can do better.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the banks of the Ohio River, there's a look at Paul Brown Stadium here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here. Losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Ravens, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into full. Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? This one grabbed by A.J. Green. There goes Green. The 30, 10, and all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A.J. Green, an even 90 yards. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, pump the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, you're naturally...
Dalton, 1st and 10. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And Dalton to throw. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. At the end of one, 7-0 is our score. We'll return to Cincinnati after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with the football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a 1st down. Now Dalton. Over the middle, complete. It's Waters. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
On the ball.
And they'll go on the ground. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
The coach is always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end. Let him get some rap.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield, guy who can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Right back to him on first down. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
From midfield here, Dalton throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The hell running right through it. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That good for 19 and a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Stopped short of the 25, but that second effort got him a couple extra. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Cincinnati after this. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Dalton throwing on second down. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slam. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
A first chance in the red zone for the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at the 19. Dalton operating in the red zone now. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL. Being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
And the Bengals on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and goal. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Dalton up, play action. And this is incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And Eifert has it. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Dalton to his big target, Eifert, for the Cincinnati first.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Now a play fake here on first down. Green flexing his muscle. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Green. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. First and 10 for Dalton. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. 16 yards there. 2 straight plays of 16 yards and another first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Andy Dalton now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Dalton sets up play action. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Andy Dalton now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here, complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And they'll run it here. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Third down, a shot here for Dalton. His throw caught at about the 5. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
He'll get it up the middle. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
So now it's 3rd and goal. This Raven defense trying to keep him out of the end zone. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he bowls his way into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers. 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense. And this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, they tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. On the crossing route, complete. That's Delgado. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. And they'll go on the ground. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he bulls his way into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this loose?
So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the Bengals hands team. and they're going to hang on and win this game. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. 10 yards is the pickup there, and that should just about put a bow on this one.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Right back to him on 1st down. Oh, and now he bowls him over. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A big hitter there, a 1st down gain of 26 yards. And they just took a timeout with 2 seconds to go. This one obviously decided. Not sure they needed to take it, but we'll take it with them. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. And they'll run it here. And he'll take this for a short gain on what will prove to be the final play of this ball game. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Bengals, it may not be too late to salvage their season as the win moves them to 2-5 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
boys. Coming out of yesterday's practice, we all know it wasn't good enough. Today's practice, it's got to be great. Game day's coming fast. Let's go out here and let's be great, okay? Man, that was pretty darn good. And you know what really gets me excited? The fact that I know we can get better. You guys have so much room to improve still. That is exciting. Let's go out here and next practice, let's improve.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. We are just moments away from kickoff, and we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime, but kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Moments ago, a scene that's played here since 2004. Big Ben Roethlisberger greeted by this sold-out Heinz Field crowd. His Steelers getting set to match up with Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they...
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And his first pass is incomplete.
They could again catch the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. 2nd and 10. Dalton once more. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Waters. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards there on a Bengal first. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first down throw coming for Dalton. And Green with a catch left side. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The numbers for Green a week ago. He was no doubt a key piece to their puzzle in that victory.
And when this offense plays well, you just know he's going to be in the middle of everything, don't you? I mean, defense is going to say, we've got to take this guy away. He doesn't allow himself to be taken away, does he?
Play action here with Dalton. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard. Of course, he was solid last week. AFC Offensive Player of the Week award. 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, he's playing at a level right now where he's just breaking down defenses. Makes me remember when I was playing and my defensive back coach told me, listen, if you give up a touchdown pass, that's on me. I didn't coach you well enough. If you give up a second one, that's on you. And if there's a third one, I'm getting someone else in the game.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And again, Andy Dalton to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Waters. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. They're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want to
offer mine.
You were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
And it'll be Dalton again. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. The connection since 2011, Dalton to Green for a Bengal first down.
There's nothing like getting out of the gate and finding your favorite target. Andy Dalton just did that with A.J. Green.
And some people call that a nice fantasy football connection as well.
Yeah, they're piling up the points that way, and they want to see that continue.
Go on the ball.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. They'll give it to him up the middle. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out?
And he bulls his way into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. And maybe starting the campaign for another Offensive Player of the Week award in the AFC.
Yeah, strike up the band, right? They're going to lead him along, and the band being that off.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. Dalton hovering near the goal line. He gets away and he goes down. Dalton couldn't get rid of it, and that will be a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed.
Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And last time they surrendered to safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points. Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a 1st down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
And on the ground they go with a running back. Shedding the tackle. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
2nd down, Dalton. He's going to loft one deep left side. And this is caught. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. A.J. Green, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes...
Now they'll run it on the toss. Dancing away at the 30. And now running right through it. Does the big boy have the juice? The 40. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And Jones has it over the middle. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the play.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Andy Dalton now, only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Another look for Dalton on 2nd and 10. And he comes back with one complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. 2nd and goal from the 6 this time. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them, not easily.
First down, Dalton. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. Andy Dalton now 13 of 15 passing. That's good for 87%. It's 1st and 10. To throw here, Dalton. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. 10 more there and another first down.
And that's how you throw for a whole heap of yards in a game. You get efforts like that from your receivers. How about him laying out for that catch?
Yeah, excellent. Makes the quarterback look a whole lot better. Dalton throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. This carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. It's a gain of 7, and it's a 2nd down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Only a yard that time. To throw on 2nd down. Dalton is going to flip one out here to his running back. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Andy Dalton now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. How good has he been throwing the football, though? And despite that incompletion, that's just the 3rd time he's been off target this entire game.
And, Brandon, I've been on the other side of this equation, trying to defend a guy who's been this hot, and it chips away at your confidence. And when you're not confident when you're trying to defend, it makes you slower to the football, and it leads to more completions for them.
And a nice gain at 21 yards. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Passing, it's Dalton. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the 1st half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the 1st target of the 2nd half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. they're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And they'll run it here. And shoving his way inside the 35. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Oh, passing it. Dalton got his man complete over the middle. That's Delgado. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. They'll run it now out of the gun. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets them into a 3rd and 1 situation. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college, and how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time, ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
This offensive line starting to win up front. You win that battle in the trenches, you can kind of wear them down here late.
So you bring in the second part to that equation, and that's the big running back, the big bruiser, who can get more than what's blocked and break a few extra tackles and gain yardage.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Cincinnati, a loss would have really hurt. As it stands, they finished the first half at 3-5. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Hey, everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin. To my left, Charles Davis. And, Charles, you focus on this Bengal team entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for the visiting Packers, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played.
On the ball! On the ball!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
They've got to do a better job up front and create some space because they're right there, almost literally on their own goal line.
Just a couple of feet away from a safety. That could have been disastrous. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. The completion good.
Move! Hey, help!
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Dalton to the left side here for Eifert. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at a 45. His first catch, good for 14 there and a 1st down. So they got the deal done, and now he can just focus on football. He's got that behind him. Family not going anywhere, staying put. He can focus on football.
And I like how you mentioned the family because that's a huge part of it because everyone needs to be happy and comfortable. And, you know, while this process was going on, people had to be wondering, especially within his own crew, are we going to have to move? Are we going to have to change things? Not anymore. They get to stay where they're comfortable and familiar.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. The numbers for Green a week ago, 4 catches, 70. And we will not see another play as time has run out on this first quarter. 7-0 is our score. We'll return to Cincinnati after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Dalton throwing on second down. Over the middle, complete. That's Waters. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. And they keep those sticks moving forward, that time with a gain of 3. Dalton going to break the huddle, come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Throwing, Dalton, incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
They'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And on the ground they go with a running back. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this week. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Passing again. Dalton on 2nd and 10. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
2nd down pass play got them 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 12 yards that time at a Cincinnati first down. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard. Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down. Andy Dalton now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. The final shot before break. Dalton, he's got a man. It's his fullback. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, where it was the visiting Jets who were able to get the road victory. Sam Darnold, excellent in the victory as his guys up their record to 7-2 now on the year. Next, we head off to check out another game, and they were winners in that one over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. 13-10, the final score. Lastly, we're off to the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado. See what's happening with the Broncos. And they were winners as they defeat the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. Case Keenum, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First and 10 for Dalton. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll make it second and short. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. And they'll go on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards that time at a Cincinnati first down.
That's how you get right up off of the mat, because on the last play, they stoned him in the backfield and dropped him for a loss. But he's the type of guy that scared me a little bit because he's not daunted. Just got right back up, showed some confidence, and picked up a first down with his very next run.
Dalton, 1st and 10. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Andy Dalton finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Andy Dalton now 13 of 15 passing. That's good for 87%. It's 1st and 10. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Give him 7. And they'll run it here. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Green's got it over the middle. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. A pair of first downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Andy Dalton now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Dalton here from the gun. That is incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Dalvin away and bring up second down.
Second and 10. Dalton once more. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Another chance for Dalton. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
And it's caught. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different. Yeah,
a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he pulls his way into the end zone for a Bengal touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead here in the 4th. 2nd effort there. He was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pad.
Not running. Dalton wants to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Big spot. Andy Dalton. Caught Eifert over the middle. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll go with a ground attack here. Bulldozes past him and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Some pretty good games all weekend. We may have saved the best for last. This Monday night game has been a dandy. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. And on the ground they go with the running back. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those
I'm
guys
a little
that's skeptical about it, or did you
skeptical.
trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Bengals, it's an important win for their postseason hopes as they at least get back to 4-5. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Packers, it's just their second loss so far to go along with their 7 wins. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.